Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best way to spend your Slayer points. So it's going to be a Slayer point reward guide. And if you guys have noticed, I've been doing a lot of Slayer in my Road to 120 Slayer series. By the way, the link to that is in the description down below. So I figured this would be a good video to make just to figure out what are the best rewards to buy in order. So that is what we are going to be going over in today's video. So to start off, Slayer points are rewarded at the end of every Slayer task. And as you can see on the right here, you get a certain amount of Slayer tasks depending on what Slayer Master you got this task from. And then you also get extra Slayer points for every 10th task you complete, and also every 50th task you have completed. Now it is used to buy really useful rewards in the Slayer reward shop, which you saw earlier. And the points earned are doubled after the Smoke and Kills quest. Now all the points listed on the right do assume that you do have the Smoke and Kills quest completed, so just keep that in mind. So make sure you do have Smoke and Kills quest because it is a pretty basic Slayer quest. Before you get started with Slayer, you should get it done because it's just super useful with the skill. Anyway guys, we're going to move on to the first item that you should buy with your Slayer points, and that is going to be the Slayer helmet. So this Slayer helmet costs 400 Slayer points to learn how to make the Slayer helmet, and it does require the Smoke and Kills quest and 35 Slayer, also 55 crafting to assemble it. So this is by far the best reward to purchase for your first purchase in the Slayer reward shop. It only costs 400 Slayer points, so it might take you a little bit of time to get this depending on what Slayer Master you're going to and if you're doing low level Slayer tasks. But anyway, just save up for the 400 Slayer points. It gives a 12.5% melee damage boost while on Slayer tasks, and this will make you go through Slayer tasks much quicker. And then later on, you'll be able to actually upgrade this, and you'll get it for all combat styles. And that goes into the number 2 purchase in the Slayer rewards shop. It is the full Slayer helmet upgrade 1, 2, and 3. So the helmet upgrade 1 costs 100 Slayer points, and then the upgrade 2 costs 400 Slayer points, and then 3 costs 600 Slayer points. So it adds up to a total of 1100 Slayer points. So it is quite a bit, and it's probably going to take you guys a while to do this. But it is a tier 70 helmet that provides a 14% damage boost for all combat styles. So it is a lot better. You can see it's much better than the regular Slayer helmet, which only gives you a 12.5% damage boost. And then the level 3 Slayer helmet, it will actually give you that 14% damage boost for all combat styles instead of just melee. And also it is a tier 70 helmet, so it does have that tier 70 armor, which is much better and a little bit useful. And then on the right there, those are the components that you need to actually make the regular Slayer helmet. And then once you have that crafted, you can just purchase these upgrades and it will automatically boost the Slayer helmet. And so after you buy the Slayer helmet and the first 3 upgrades, you're going to want to buy the Finishing Blows ability, and so this costs 400 Slayer points. Now alternatively, you can use a legendary pet with the Finishing Blows ability as an alternative, but it is nice to just have the ability purchased from the Slayer rewards shop. That way you won't be able to need to use the rock hammer on gargoyles, for example. And it is going to be really useful for rock slugs, desert lizards, sagamites, and then gargoyles, of course. So this is just a really useful ability. It makes you not have to use the required item to kill these specific creatures. So usually when they die and reach 0 life points, you'll have to use a specific item like the rock hammer on the gargoyles to actually finish them off and get the kill. So having this ability makes it so you don't need that, and it will essentially just boost your kill times when you get these tasks. And so the next thing that you should be purchasing from the Slayer Reward Shop is the addition to Toolbelt. Specifically, get the Charming Imp so you can add that to the Toolbelt, because that is something that is pretty expensive. It costs 100,000 Dungeoneering tokens, and you can actually lose it when you die. So having it just attached to your Toolbelt will make it so you never have to lose it, and it'll also save up that 1 inventory slot or 1 gear slot. So that is the best thing you should be doing. First, get the Charming Imp. You can also add the Herbicide, the Seedicide, and the Gold Accumulator to your tool belt. Not all players have these items, so you might not want to. And also, Sometimes they aren't really that useful. I would say if you do have the gold accumulator, definitely put that on your tool belt because it costs so much dungeoneering tokens and it's something you really don't want to lose. But those last three, they're kind of up to you to decide if you want to spend the Slayer points on that. So from here on in the list, this is kind of just my opinion. The first four are definitely what you should buy first, but going on from here, it is sort of just your opinion. Next, I like to buy the prefer and block list. So I like preferring some tasks and also blocking some really awful tasks that I just don't want to complete. And each of these costs 100 Slayer points. So it costs 100 to prefer a task and 100 to block a task. I would say it is best to start with blocking tasks first because there are some really awful tasks that you just don't want to do. A lot of them like lesser demons, just hellhounds, creatures like that really don't give you too much Slayer XP. And then once you get above level 85 Slayer, I would then start to say you should start preferring tasks. So there are some really good Slayer tasks that you can prefer, like Abyssal Demons, Corrupted Creatures, Soul Devourers, Aerots, Elves, just basically any Slayer creature who gives you quite a bit of Slayer XP per hour. I would say at least 500,000 XP per hour, and all those creatures do that. Make sure you're being a little bit selective when preferring Slayer tasks because you only have a limited amount of space. You get one prefer slot and one block slot for every 50 quest points that you have. So say you have 200 quest points, you'll get to prefer 4 tasks, and then you'll also be able to block 4 tasks as well. And so at number 6, I like to buy new Slayer tasks. These cost 50 points each, but make sure you only unlock the good ones. So some of these include Mustbuzz and Nightmares. Glaciers and Niles, they can be okay. Glaciers have a pretty unique drop, which are nice to get sometimes. It's not great XP per hour, so definitely think about if you want to unlock Glaciers or not. And then also Nihils, they don't give too much Slayer XP per hour, but they do make you a lot of GP per hour. So if you are looking to get some more GP per hour, then Nihils would be a pretty good task to toggle on as well. And so at number 7 is the ability to fletch broad arrows. This is a really useful thing to unlock. It costs 300 Slayer points and it requires 52 fletching to craft. You'll also be able to fletch broad bolts, but fletching broad arrows are much better. You get a lot more XP per hour, and that is the main reason why you're going to want to unlock this, because fletching broad arrows, they give you a ton of fletching XP. You can get around 500k XP per hour, and that's without any boosts. So that makes it really good fletching XP per hour, and it is also fairly cheap. You can't actually sell the broad arrows once you actually make them, so that is a little bit disappointing, but it does give you a lot of XP per hour, and it's one of the more cost-efficient ways of training. Just a little bit worse than fletching rune arrows, but it still is pretty good. And so at number 8 is the ability to craft Rings of Slaying. So this costs 300 Slayer points to learn how to craft these rings, and it also requires 75 crafting to actually craft them. They're made with a gold bar and an enchanted gem, and they can teleport you to Simona in Polnovich, the Slayer Tower, Fremennik Slayer Dungeon, and then also Tarn's Lair. And it does have 8 teleports. Once you use all 8, then the ring will become uncharged. It is also a good source of precious components when disassembling. It's actually one of the best ways to get precious components and most cost-effective ways. So I would say that is the best use for the Slayer rings. It's really great for getting precious components. So that is the main reason that I think you guys should decide to purchase this ability. And so at number 9 is purchasing the Corrupted Slayer Helm. It's also called the Full Slayer Helmet Upgrade 4. This costs 1,000 Slayer points, so it is a pretty expensive upgrade. And the only thing it does, it provides a 14.5% damage boost as opposed to the 14% that you would be getting from the Full Slayer Helmet Upgrade 3. So it isn't too much better. It also gives you a better capture rate when you're capturing the Slayer Souls with the Ushabis. And it is upgraded using the Corrupted Gem and then also the Focusite and Hexcrest as well. So this is a pretty good Slayer helmet. There's not too much difference, and it's usually only used at the end game, which is why I put it at number 9. At number 10, I put Infuse Slayer Rings. It costs 500 Slayer points. It allows you to fuse the Slayer Rings into your Slayer helmet, giving you a few extra teleports. I don't really think this ability is that useful. but it can be if you just have some extra points left over. And then of course with the rest of your points, you'll be able to buy some consumables and skip and extend tasks. It's 30 points to skip and extend a task each. And then also you can buy some consumables like the Ushabis. They can be bought for 20 Slayer points each. And you will need these for capturing all the Slayer creature souls at level 99 Slayer. Of course, you can buy these throughout. They don't need to be the last thing you buy. I would definitely suggest skipping some awful tasks whenever you get one, because some of them just are really bad and you don't really want to do them. So don't really make sure that you wait till you buy all these other upgrades. You can definitely skip and extend some tasks throughout. I would definitely highly suggest that you should at least get the tier 70 Slayer helmet first before using any of your Slayer points on this stuff. Some other useful consumables that you can buy some Slayer XP. You can also buy some Dragon Darts, which are the best way to turn your Slayer points into money, I guess. It's about 1.7k for each Slayer points. That is not too bad. But yeah, once you buy all of these upgrades, you'll just be able to spend the rest of your points on this stuff. Anyway guys, I really hope you did find this video helpful, and it'll help you use your Slayer points wisely, because they are kind of difficult to get. And it's best to make sure that you get that Slayer helmet upgrade before you start spending stuff on the bad upgrades, I guess. Once again, if you want to check out my Road to 120 Slayer series, the link to that will be in the description down below. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.